Hello everyone, my name is Yury Leonychev, and today I would like to present about public clouds. And as you can guess from the name of my presentation, it will be some kind of criticism about public clouds, and I will try to expose some most notorious biases that exist. So why public clouds? This is extraordinary art but questionable performance. Well, first of all, before criticizing public clouds, I would really mention some cases and some companies who actually will benefit from using public clouds. So in my presentation, I would cover several topics. First of all, I will tell actually cases when you will have benefits if you will use public clouds, and issues that you can have, they are not so bad and it can be accepted compared to benefits. Then we will cover some problems related to cloud capacity planning. We will talk about service support levels in the public clouds. We also will discuss problems with accessing of software as a service and infrastructure as a service developers. And we also will cover some issues related to hidden costs of keeping infrastructure in public clouds. So why to use public clouds and when you actually can have benefits from using public clouds? There are some types of companies who can go to public clouds and they clearly will have a lot of benefits. So one of the cases when you will have benefits from public clouds, this is when your company is a startup and you just decided to focus completely on your product, on your service which you want to deliver as fast as possible, and you have of course strict budget limitations, and in this case you probably want to invest everything in your product but you don't want to spend money on your IT infrastructure. Second case, this is when your company basically not focused on providing IT services and it's not IT company by itself. In this case, you probably don't have a people expertise in building IT infrastructure, and in that case, using public clouds, of course, beneficial for you. Third case, probably when you have a company which has a global business and has a presence in many different countries, and if you want to have a similar IT infrastructure in many different countries and many different places, public clouds of course has clearly benefits because they're trying to keep the same infrastructure and the same interfaces everywhere. And probably last but not least, this is a case when you doing media distribution. So if your company focused on, for example, providing video streaming or audio streaming and manipulating with a huge amount of internet traffic, public cloud infrastructure beneficial because public clouds investing a lot into networking. They usually have a pretty massive bandwidths. They can distribute a lot of traffic very easily. And this is probably cases when you really can go with public clouds and you really will have a lot of benefits. Unfortunately, it's very easy to overgrow, for example, a startup phase, and you can easily come to the moment when you will have some issues related to public clouds. And let's start to talk about these issues, and we will start from cloud capacity limitations. So why I want to start from this? Because this is probably one of the most popular biases related to public clouds. And it's probably one of the key sales points that I often heard and I often seen in various articles on internet when you can see statements that sounds like this: clouds virtually has infinite capacity, or something like our traffic growing exponentially, but this is not an issue because we are using X public cloud, or sometimes it's very simple when, for example, engineers in your company are saying, yeah, we will just provision additional virtual machines in the public cloud when we need it. And this is a very dangerous myth, and how it can impact your company. Well, it can impact your company by many different means, but let's look at several examples. So one of the examples is basically market cycles, and it's clearly impacting EC companies. Why it's like this? Because e-commerce has not only day-night traffic cycles, but e-commerce companies also has large marketing events. So you probably know about Black Friday. Of course, you know how people buying a lot of things on Halloween, and there is a Singles Day in China, and all these events were happening for all companies, for all EC on the market. So what does it mean? That basically means that all companies, not only your company, will have increased consumption of computer resources at the same time. So it basically means that when you will request additional computer resources from your public cloud provider, there is a high chance that you cannot get them because someone else requested these resources first. And of course, you should check quotes which you have in public clouds, because there is really some kind of misconception that you can go to public cloud and you can at any moment request any amount of computer resources, but this is not true. All public clouds, and I'm giving links here, they have a quotes, and if you're not extending quotes specifically, you actually can request very limited amount of computer resources. So you should be aware about it. One additional example, this is, I would say, machine learning acceleration crisis, which happened on the market for 2-3 years. So you know that recently there was a big trend when many different companies decided to follow the hot topic of machine learning, and they decided simultaneously invest into the machine learning functions, features, to build new machine learning models, to train new machine learning models. And unfortunately, there were several circumstances that happened at the same time impacted businesses. So first of all, it's semiconductor crisis. Second, this is a problem with design of the public cloud compute infrastructure by itself, because of course public cloud providers in general, they mostly invested in general purpose computations, not into the machine learning computations. And one additional reason was that prices also for machine learning accelerators, they grow up because some other activities on markets. Well, I at least can mention cryptocurrencies boom, which happened plus minus at the same time. And it's really could impact your company, because if your goal is to do some machine learning tasks, and if you really want to book some computer resources for machine learning, well, you simply couldn't find them because everything is overbooked and nothing is available even in public clouds. Next topic that I want to touch is support levels. So many companies, they have a private clouds and they have a private infrastructure, and of course when you have a private infrastructure, support functions provided by your own teams, and in that case you have very fast communication ways to members who are providing infrastructure as a service. However, if you are working with public cloud infrastructure, situation is different. And when you need to contact support, so what can go wrong in public cloud? So many things. As any normal IT infrastructure, you can have some downtime, so something probably not working well. can be some performance degradations in public cloud, can be also some issues related basically to public cloud usage. So it's complicated systems and you need some guidance. Sometimes you need to know some know-how, best practices. It can be also security incidents, can be billing problems when you are overcharged, undercharged, something like that, and can be some compliance issues that coming to you. But so let's start from probably most popular problem which happening quite often. This is downtime. So what is the problem with public clouds when something is broken? So several issues. Public clouds, they are huge. We have thousands of clients, we have massive infrastructures, multiple data centers, and all services which working in the public cloud as infrastructure as a service or software as a service, they provided for thousands of clients. And at that big scale, incidents that usually happening with infrastructure in public clouds, they are impacting all clients, thousands of them at the same time. So if something goes wrong, it's probably going wrong not only for your company, it's going for many other people at the same time, wrong way. And there were several accidents that you probably heard about. For example, famous issue with Amazon Cloud, which impacted entire United States for several hours. And interesting was that US economy was impacted overall because, for example, one of the biggest clients of AWS was Salesforce, which provided accounting and software for cashier machines for many small businesses in US. And at that moment, when Amazon infrastructure experienced issues, all these businesses, small businesses who probably even never heard that we're using AWS, they all stopped and they couldn't provide services to clients. Of course, there are issues that happened with other public clouds too, and to be honest, there are, for example, very nice articles about accidents which Amazon Web Services and Google Cloud publishing from time to time, and they're really doing a good work to write down post-mortem for such kind of situations. But I'm providing some links to you to take a look, and if you check these postmortems, you probably will find that indeed every time when public cloud experiencing trouble, it's usually a large-scale issue which impacting entire region or availability zone, and it means that impact will happen at the same time for many clients. So this is a problem. If you are using public cloud, then you can face it, despite bias that public clouds are invincible. So what about best practices and guidance? Well, when you go into public cloud, what is your expectation? Well, usually your expectation it will be very easy to use. You're expecting that it will be some intuitively simple service which will allow you to maintain infrastructure without additional spending of time, and you probably don't want to hire additional engineers. This is why you're going to public cloud. But unfortunately, if you're going to, for example, set up a relatively simple continuous integration and deployment cycle in public cloud, you already need to investigate how to do a lot of very low-level API calls, and you will find out that you cannot simply use, for example, user interface and just click buttons. You need already to go with some low-level features, low-level functions, and that means you already need some DevOps engineers. Well, another problem that you will experience is that when you want to use public cloud on the low level, you need additional expertise. And when you need additional expertise, you can face a problem. So you basically need DevOps engineers who know how public cloud works. Can you find these engineers? Big question, maybe not. If not, you will come to public cloud provider and you'll pay additional money to some cloud success team who will probably help you to set up your software in cloud, but this is additional impact to your budget. And another problem with public clouds, if you want to really use them efficiently, you should go 100%. You should use many services, you should use some private features which making public cloud very nice. Unfortunately, at the same time, you're introducing vendor lock because, of course, as you can understand, these private proprietary features in public clouds, they are different from vendor to vendor. So if you, for example, really invested in Google Cloud infrastructure, if you want to move to Amazon Web Services, you will experience a lot of problems with migration, and you probably will go to Cloud Success team again and spend additional resources. So what else can be wrong? Let's say, for example, you have your own private cloud and you using some piece of infrastructure, let's say Kubernetes, for example, or some database as a service, and you need a new feature. So if it's your private cloud infrastructure, you have a direct contact to the team who providing this service, and you can request feature and you can get it. Can you directly connect developers who providing infrastructure as a service in public cloud? Well, answer clearly, no, you cannot. So what's happening basically, again, your expectation from public cloud that infrastructure as a service and software as a service will be very simple, and you exactly want to get this as a service part, but in fact you always have some restrictions which coming together with this as a service feature. So why it's like this? Because as you can imagine, public cloud providing you, for example, database or Kubernetes or any other piece of infrastructure with many restrictions, which allows them to automate maintenance functionality, to provide automatic updates, but everything comes at cost. So in this case, cost is that infrastructure can be seriously restricted on amount of features that you can use, and there is no way how you can tweak software, for example, no way how you can tweak database or Kubernetes for your needs. And one of the examples how it can impact your company, for example, if you are going to use some new feature which just appeared in Kubernetes or which just appeared in your favorite database, it can be impossible because simply public cloud not using the latest version of database and not using the latest version of Kubernetes. If you want to use latest version, you need to set it up by yourself using very low level compute resources like virtual machines. And well, it's not always possible. If you don't have DevOps engineers, you probably cannot do it. In that case, you're stuck because other companies who, for example, invested into own DevOps team, they can make it so they can get access to additional new features while you will just simply wait until public cloud provider will provide these features for you. So one more issue that you will surely experience if you're going with public clouds, this is DevOps loss cycle. So what's happening? Usually it's kind of like Ouroboros when you just eating your own DevOps team. So what's happening? You're going to public clouds, you're doing some initial investment, you're starting to use public clouds a little bit, and your DevOps team becoming a little bit more specialized on that public cloud and starting to invest more time into support of public cloud, and your private infrastructure starting to degrade a little bit. So just because you have no time. Yeah, so in that situation, your developers who are using your private infrastructure will becoming less and less satisfied. So when they're less and less satisfied, they of course also want to go to public cloud more and more. And this is infinite cycle. So your internal developer team want to use public clouds because private infrastructure is not nice. It's moving resources to public clouds, draining resources from your own infrastructure with degrading more. The cycle continues, and at some moment you are losing your DevOps team completely and you already stuck to public cloud forever and can't escape. So this can be really painful, you know, in case when you just lost your engineers and you lost all expertise. So what to do if you, for example, need a new feature in public cloud? Well, what is your course of action here? You in public clouds mostly can just complain a little bit and wait. And if you cannot wait, you should do everything by yourself. If you have private cloud, well, you can also complain, but you know to whom you will complain, so it's much more efficient. You can wait, but it's also predictable time. How long you will wait, you know. And if you're going to make something by yourself and introduce new feature to private cloud, that can be shared to other people in your company. So this is a little bit more beneficial in that case. Let's talk about one more disadvantage of public clouds. This is hidden costs and pricing models. Sometimes, you know, one of the expectations and also one of the sales points of public clouds is a simple budgeting. And very often startups, for example, they're going to public clouds because of that reason. You should report to investors how much money you're spending on your infrastructure, and public clouds, we can provide some reports, we can provide some diagrams which you can basically demonstrate to explain how much money you're spending. And on some level, of course, this is clearly the benefit, and this is really helping your company to check a budget. Unfortunately, if your company growing and amount of compute resources that you need growing too, your budget becoming much more complicated. It reminds, you know, this famous parking rules in New York, when you really need to read very long traffic sign to understand can you park or cannot in some specific place and time. What can be included into hidden costs of public clouds? One of the important things that sometimes companies missing, this is data egress cost. How much is basically will cost for you to provide, to distribute data from public cloud to your clients. Sometimes, if for example you are big data service, you should also consider how much it will cost for you to migrate from public cloud if you want to move to different cloud provider or if you want to move to your own infrastructure. And this is not free, and you should pay for all data that you will copy from public cloud, and prices can be not small. So I'm providing links for you, you can check costs, and it's really interesting numbers which you always should keep in mind. Sometimes if your company, for example, really distributing a lot of data to clients, you can calculate that basically your private infrastructure can be actually much more beneficial compared to public cloud. I think one of the best examples and one of the best case studies is a case of Dropbox migration. So Dropbox, as you know, providing a service which allows users to synchronize data across multiple personal computers and smartphones and other devices using a cloud. And of course you can understand that main thing that Dropbox used is a storages for user data. And for example, Dropbox for a very long time used AWS. S3 service as a place where we stored user data. And by the way, S3 is like one of the first AWS services, one of the most famous, and its cost is very reasonable. But however, Dropbox found that it will be more beneficial for company to go to own data centers and to build own data centers and own private infrastructure. So this is one thing that you probably need to consider if you're really distributing a lot of data, and this is one of the core parts of your business. So one additional thing that you probably will use in public clouds if you want to save some money, this is commitments. So what does it mean, commitment? Commitment means that you basically are paying to public cloud provider some money in advance to book resources in advance, and you paying forward to have some specific amount of computer resources available for you in the future. Of course, you can imagine for public clouds providers, such kind of commitments from users are really nice because you receiving a lot of money, a lot of investment in advance. However, for your company, it can be a bit more complicated, more tricky situation, because first of all, it's very difficult to calculate how much these commitments will cost for you, because if you check the rules, how these resources are provided, these rules really complicated in public clouds. And one big problem that you can experience is changes in computer resources in the time. Good example that I can give to you, this is again machine learning hardware, which for example every 1 or 2 years has very massive upgrades, and new architectures appears on the market and in data centers, and with new architectures sometimes delivering much higher performance. However, you can have, for example, long-term 2-3 years commitment to old infrastructure, and so money already paid, so you should use that infrastructure, but other companies can just get much fresher hardware and got a lot of benefits from it, which is not available for you. So sometimes public clouds coming also with surprising costs. Well, one of surprising costs, this is licenses. Another example is, for example, idle resource consumption and premium support. No, about support, this is really simple. I told you that you are just one of the clients of public clouds, and if you will check on the low-level basic support tier, you really have very limited access to cloud support and very limited amount of requests and very big actually response times. So you really should know about it in advance. But for other things, well, about idle resources, this is very famous when people provisioning infrastructure in public clouds, and they, for example, can forget to turn off and deprovision servers, virtual machines, but public cloud providers will continue to charge you. It doesn't matter, are you using these servers, are you using these resources or not. Still, you can receive huge bills. And speaking about licenses, yes, so in many cases when you're using proprietary software, you will not receive that software for free, you will additionally pay for licenses. And public cloud or private cloud, it doesn't matter, this cost will come. So as a conclusion, I want to tell that you should be well aware about how much public clouds costs for you. And yes, for some cases it can be very complicated to estimate how much you will pay for your compute infrastructure. You clearly should understand biases related to public clouds. Public clouds not invincible, they can break, and if they are broken it's very difficult to get support, so you probably need just wait until public cloud fixed. And if you want to use public cloud efficiently, you still need to invest into DevOps team. You should invest into DevOps engineers, but it will be very specialized team, very narrow for only specific public cloud, and you cannot move and migrate easily to any other infrastructure if you are really specialized on some specific public cloud provider. And this is it from me. So if you have questions, you can ask them in LinkedIn. You can contact me by email or by my Mastodon account. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your time.